3 days a week, and I try very, very hard to help you understand a little bit about the real world and the future and what you're going to encounter as you get a little bit older. And I had kind of living proof of that come to me today and affirm or verify these things. There's a girl that I used to teach and coach years ago by the name of Caitlin Crowley.
Was that the one that was there?
That was the one that was at lunch. And Caitlin was one of the hardest working kids that you could imagine. She was a good student, but not an amazing student. And she was a very, very good softball player. She played here at South Ocean for 7th and 8th grade. And then she went to private school for her high school years, and she actually was an all-state catcher. She used to go to clinics all over the Northeast with her dad to learn how to become better, and she was a relentless worker. She worked all the time, hardest working kid, had a motor to become great, wanted to pay any price to win, would work. In batting practice, she could hit so well. One of the best athletes that I've ever coached. And within that context, one of the hardest working athletes I've ever coached. And when you put a talented athlete and a great work ethic together, you get a great future. But she also carried that into her classroom work. And again, she was a top athlete. And while she was a good student, she was not as gifted in the classroom as she was on the sports field. On the sports field, you looked at her and knew that you were dealing with one of the very best. When you looked at her in the classroom, you just said, man, that's a good, hardworking, good, smart kid, but not genius kid. She would be like a sports genius. Now, I was asking her, what's going on with her life, and she's finishing up her master's degree, and she's actually coaching in college right now, and she's going to be getting a job as a speech pathologist in a couple of months. And she will make serious coin with a job like that. She'll probably start, my guess is around $60,000 or $65,000 a year. Yeah, with benefits. That benefits will include a retirement program, and they'll include health insurance. Then she'll do that, and over the next 15, 20 years of her life, that'll probably work its way up to being worth $115,000 or $120,000. And that doesn't include any private work that she does. And then she's choosing to work with speech pathology with autistic kids, which are kids who really have a hard time speaking. So she has a rare skill, and she'll be in demand. And I look back and I think, now you saw her with me at lunch today, and I was giving her the same speeches I'm giving you when she was 13 or 14 years old sitting in class. And she listened. Now, her parents were telling her the same things. I'm sure her other coaches were telling her the same things. It wasn't like I made this huge difference, because that wouldn't be true. But she listened to the things that all of these coaches were saying, all of these adults in her life, her grandparents. She listened and she worked. And she has a great future. She's doing so well. And my hope is that you guys listen too. Because then, and especially now through the modern miracle of Facebook, I will love the fact that when I am out of touch with you guys, because I no longer live on Long Island, I can sit there and find out what's going on in your lives. And
I will friend you.
I will hear about when you get into college. Only friend me after I retire.
I will friend you.
After I retire.
Yes.
The day after I retire, I'm all
Wait,
for
what day
it.
are you retiring?
The last day of school next year.
All right.
Are you working in high school next year?
99% sure.
Wait, that you'll be in high school?
Yeah. So, in fact, I just got an email that from one of the high school math teachers who said he heard it's a done deal. So,
So he's coming here and you're going there?
no, we'll both be up there.
Who's gonna be
What's that?
who's gonna be math teacher?
No idea.
I don't see one math teacher next year.
We'll see. We shall see. I I don't know what they want me to teach. I know they're gonna want me to teach some algebra, which would be the course you guys take. I just don't know if it's all algebra, if it's 1-year algebra, 2-year algebra, that I don't know. So we'll see when I get up there. And I don't know if they're gonna have me do another course in addition to algebra, but whatever they say, they're the boss. I'm the employee,
You just get paid.
that's it, and they will pay. Show me the money. So I got 1 more year of work in me, and then that's it. After that, well, I'll still work it out, but I'll do fun things like, it's the same exact thing with Caitlin.
Fly fishing.
Well, I work real hard at fly fishing, I could be a guide if I wanted to be, but I also work very, very hard at the photography, and I got a photography business going now. I'm never gonna make a ton of money at it, but I might be able to make $15,000 or $20,000 a year with it. And I get to do it when I wanna do it, and, that's all play money. That's not, I don't need that money. That's money I'll use to buy more camera equipment. I'll use it to go on fishing trips. I'll enjoy it. It'll be a good thing. So, and I have fun doing it. So it's a win-win all the way around. And most importantly, the district asked me, they said that they didn't want me to retire, and they said, what do they have to do to keep me here? And I said that they need to let me pick the days I come to work. That's really the thing that annoys me. Work doesn't annoy me, I love being here. What annoys me is that I wake up in the morning and I go, oh man, it's gonna be a great day for fishing, or it's gonna be an amazing day for photography, or I'd love to really go do this with my family or my dogs or whatever, my friends, and I go, oh, I gotta go to work. Now, if I could pick and choose when I get to go to work and when I get to go, now we're talking, and then I might be able to work something out.
I'm missing though.
So, well, they can't. There's a contract with the union. There's no way around that. I can't change it. So, plus I'm leaving Long Island. All right. Let's take a look now at this, and hopefully you get that same kind of work ethic that Caitlin has. And when I get on Facebook in a few years, I read about what a great life Alyssa has, or Jason has, or Brian has, or Sarah E., or any of you other guys, Sebastian, all the way across the room. I read about Muscles and Mascara doing this amazing work in gymnastics and in the classroom,
Baseball.
doing really well. And I see Victoria converted to a Ranger fan. Okay, so now
Yes.
I'm going to scroll through these answers. If you want to go over any of them, ask. Shh. This was the third in the series. By now you should have this pretty down pat. Anybody want to go over any of those? Okay. Last night's homework answers. Let's get them out. Ready? Take a look at A and B, see if there's any problems. Your next test is going to be harder than the last one because you're going to have some of these minus guys on it. Any problems? Okay. Now, on C and D, I forgot to add them together at the last step here. So it's going to be negative 8x squared plus 8x minus 4 for this one here. Negative 8x squared plus 8x minus 4. And now I want to get and do letter D for you. But to do that one, I got to stand up and go to the front. So let's see what we got. All right, so I notice a minus sign here and a plus sign here, and I really want to emphasize the difference between the two. We know there's really a 1 in front, and I know I'm going to distribute that negative 1. Negative because we look in front for the sign, like Mr. and Mrs. in front of the name to tell if it's a boy or a girl. We look in front to tell if it's positive or negative. Now, I don't have anything going on in this first one, so it's 4a plus 4b minus 7. Negative 1 times 2a is negative 2a. Negative 1 times negative 2b is plus 2b. Negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. What that negative 1 does in front, in effect,
Just change all the signs. Now over here, this is a plus. It's not a minus. So if it's a plus, you just keep the signs the same. Or if you want to think about it, you distribute a positive one. But when you multiply by a positive, you don't change any signs. So it just stays minus 3a, minus 8b, and plus 8. And now I combine like terms, just like I've known now how to do for the better part of 2 weeks. 4a and minus 2a is 2a, and minus 3a is negative a. 4b and 2b is 6b, minus 8b is minus 2b. And minus 7 and plus 3 is minus 4, plus 8 is plus 4. So I get negative a minus 2b plus 4. Any questions on that? Now that to me is a very good question, because if you can handle that, you can do anything that we've taught you about combining like terms. Okay, are we good?
Yeah.
All right. Now, here's the volume one. Any question about that? Also take a look at the law of exponent ones. There'll be some of those on your test too. Are we good? Okay. Very important, letter C, anything to the 0 power, and this whole thing in the parentheses, the whole thing is being raised to the 0, so anything, including the whole thing, is 1. And now we get to what was yesterday's lesson. Double distribute. It's also today's lesson, it's also tomorrow's lesson. Cover up the 4, distribute the x. X times x is x squared. Now I'm going to cover up the x and distribute the 4. 4 times x, remember it's a positive 4, is 4x. 4 times 3 is 12. And the big revelation, the big takeaway from yesterday's lesson, is whenever we do these double distribute, a binomial, that's the x plus 4 part, times another binomial, the x plus 3 part, you'll always get, in the middle, you'll be able to combine them. So what are positive 3x's and positive 4x's? Everybody?
Positive 7.
Positive 7x. So I get x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay, any questions? Now let's take the same idea for the next guy. Cover up the positive 9, distribute the x. X times x is x squared, x times negative 2 is negative 2x's. Then we got positive 9. 9 times x is 9x's, 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. Again, the middle will always be combinable. What's negative 2x's and positive 9x's?
Positive 7x.
Positive 7x, and that's exactly what it says there. Show you the order doesn't even matter. I can do the negative 11 first. Negative 11 times x is negative 11x. Negative 11 times negative 3 is plus 33. And then I can do the x. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x's. These will always be combined. X squared minus 14x plus 33. Are there any questions about those? Okay, so now what I would like to do is let you guys try 2 of them. So let's have you do numbers 1 and 2. Okay, and then I'll put them on the board. Okay, so, let's go to this first one, ready? In my mind, I cover up the positive 9 and I just distribute the x. X times x is x squared. What's x times positive 5? 5x, good. Now I cover up the x and I distribute the 9. What's 9 times x? 9x. And what's 9 times 5? These guys will always be able to be combined. What are 5x's and 9x's?
14x's.
So I get x squared plus 14x plus 25. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay, somebody tell me the first step on the next one. Zach?
Distribute the X.
Distribute the x, and I always like to say cover up to 5, so it gets out of the way. X times x is?
X,
X squared. X times 2 is?
X, 2X.
2x. Covering up the x now, 5 times x
5.
and 5 times 2.
And
Combining my middle terms, what are 2x's and 5x's?
7X.
So I get x squared plus 7x plus 10. Make sense? Okay. I wish we'd have gotten through 1 or 2 more like the last class. We'll be all right. We got another lesson on double distribute tomorrow, and then the test Thursday and Friday. And there will be some double distribute on that test, and lots of the subtracting and adding.
Girls lacrosse practice canceled today. Game tomorrow, we're ready.
Yeah.
The only reason why I'm scared about today's game is because James Goff might be pitching.
Oh.
And he's a really good pitcher.
Yeah, he went here last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he was on our team last year. He went 1-1.
Okay.
But he would have won the second game, but our offense didn't produce so much.
Ah.
We only lost that other game 1-0.
Ooh.
So you said they're small.
They were a shockingly small team for Connecticut. I'm used to Connecticut.